Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Toon Review. And finally, the four of us are back on screen since Sunday night, was it? Seems like an eternity ago, but tonight it is the Bournemouth preview. And we are going to be joined by Matt, the Bournemouth fan, in around half an hour's time to get the Bournemouth side of things. However, I'd like to start tonight with the England squad. Now, I've done obviously, I did a very short video about this earlier on today because I'm perplexed, I'm baffled, I'm annoyed. I'm everything about this bloody England squad. This is the squad. So what says to me there is ultra-defensive manager Gareth Southgate, look at the midfielders and look at the defenders. It is laughable.
And look at some of the defenders for a start.
Absolutely. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold there, who's bang out of form. You've got
Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire, who doesn't get a game. Luke Shaw, who sits on his ass most of the time. You've got in midfield Calvin Phillips, who simply hasn't hardly kicked the ball this season either.
Connor Cody and Eric Dyer arguably shouldn't be in that squad as well.
Absolutely. You've got Jack Grealish, who is, is awful at the minute. Just not happening for him at City at all. I don't mind the other ones in there. I'm really pleased to see Ivan Toney get a shot. However, there's players out there who are in much better form. And this pillock of a manager said that, when he took over, I'm going to pick players in form. I'm going to, as long as they're playing regular football. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I just think it's knocking the England fans' confidence before we've even got to the World Cup. And, there's far better teams. I mean, Alex, we'll start with you. There's so many good teams. We had a look the other day when we did the World Cup show. We're going to get... let's be honest here, straight away. We're going to get nowhere near the World Cup this year.
No, I mean, we've still got enough quality to win games, to win tough games with people like Harry Kane. We've got some cracking midfielders. Mason Mount on his day, when he turns up, can be very, very good. Foden can be world-class when he's in the mood. Jude Bellingham's incredible. The keepers, again, even if Pickford turns up, he's a brilliant shot stopper, but sometimes he's atrocious. His head goes. So I think we can be reasonable, but we're not going to be able to... We've had a lot of easier runs through recent international tournaments, and if we just have a slightly harder run through, providing we get out of our group, that is, and don't slip up, we might not necessarily get as comfortable draws as we've been getting recently. And we can't just pump through and beat Germany, France, Spain. We can't just knock all those off. Play in a whatever we're going to play. I mean, judging by that list you had on screen, that screams I'm playing 5 at the back and 2 in midfield.
God, yeah.
Of course it does.
And the fact that he's got Calvin Phillips is in the squad despite playing barely any minutes for Manchester City. It's just, it's
laughable. It really is laughable. How does Harry Maguire get in that squad? And Luke Shaw, Danielle, both of them. I mean, I know you hold Man United in such high regard, but it's a farce, isn't it?
Well, I just think he's got no balls. I'm just saying it.
Yeah.
I just honestly don't think he's got the balls to drop him. So, I mean, I'm not a big fan of tournaments anyway for England, so I don't really care that much. However, I think that a true manager will make difficult decisions at the right time, and I feel like he just isn't the person to do that. So, be that as it may, in terms of Southgate, leave Eddie Howe alone, because he ain't going no England job, I'm telling you. So we need to start looking elsewhere for tournaments after the World Cup, I believe, because I just don't think he's the man for the job.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And by the way, good evening, Steve Bruce. Ian says, Alex, can we have a stat check on this Guram lad? We're going to do something if he does sign, as usual on here. We're not predicting anything. We're just going to wait till the club have announced he's signed, and then we'll look at because this guy could be potentially a wonder kid. So this is a massive signing. And
he might not sign until January officially, though. So he might, if it's semi-official, it might be one of those that's hard to confirm until
he's
January,
turning 18 next week, and Newcastle are willing to pay 25 grand a week for him. That is how good this kid is. By the way, as well, just before we get Billy's thoughts on the England setup, we are giving tickets away tonight, remember, for the match on Saturday. We have an adult and a junior ticket. They are sitting together, but you cannot change it. I must stipulate that you cannot change the junior ticket for an adult one on the day. You can't do that. So if you want the tickets, it will have to be yourself and a junior who goes to the game. So you and your lad, daughter, niece, nephew, whatever. But as usual, it's the same as normal for a giveaway. If you super chat £5 or more, you're in the draw straight away. So if you super chat a £5, you're in one. £10, you're in twice, and so on. That's the way we do it on here for the ticket giveaways. So that's it. So if you want to be in the draw, guys, that's how you do it. Just super chat a £5, you're in the draw. If you can go to the game, if you can't, then your donation is highly, highly appreciated anyway. But as I say, if you want to go to the game and you want to take the little one or whoever you want to go with, it is an adult and junior ticket for this Saturday's game. You'll just simply meet me at the ground before you go in and get your tickets. Simple as that. So there you go. If you want to go to the game, you have to be in it to win it. Now, Billy, thoughts on the England squad? Because I'm pretty sure you've got your feelings on this.
Yeah, it's just... At the moment, we've got the second golden generation of my lifetime. Sven had one, and he ruined it. Gareth Southgate's currently got one, and he's ruining it more than what Sven did. If you just put that squad up again for me, I just want to go through a few players that should not be in that squad.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
I'm just going to name them. Right. So, goalkeepers you've got no arguments with, but out of the three of them, guaranteed he will play Ramsdale because he's the least in form. He will play Ramsdale. I'm pretty certain of that. Even though Nick Pope should be playing.
Yeah.
Defenders-wise. Trent Alexander-Arnold shouldn't be in the squad as a defender. If you're going to pick him, you should pick him as a midfield player. Not good enough to be a right back for England.
Absolutely.
Ben Chilwell's hardly played for Chelsea. Connor Cody. Not sure.
Billy, I'm just going to stop you there. We've had £100 super chat from Michael Marsden. Michael, that is incredible, as usual. We love you, man, and you know we do. And I know you haven't been well lately, but we'll see you on Saturday, and we'll have a good laugh for sure.
We'll have a chili
so we will certainly, yes, and we will certainly have a good laugh. So thank you very much, Michael. As usual, incredible gesture. Thank you, mate. Okay, Billy, sorry, carry on, mate.
Yeah, Connor Cody's, neither here nor there to me. He's not an international class footballer. Eric Dyer's had a really good start to the season, to be fair to him. He's got tournament experience. I've got no qualms about him being in the squad. He's kind of inexperienced. Reece James probably should be starting.
Yeah.
Now, Harry Maguire has been regressing since the 2018 World Cup. It seems harder for him to get out of the squad than it is for anyone else to get into it. He should be nowhere near that England squad. Absolutely nowhere near it. You know, if he can't get in the Man United team, he should be nowhere near an England squad. Absolutely not. But yeah, he'll play. He'll play.
I'm pretty sure he will. Yeah.
It's obvious to me that the two centre halves should be John Stones and Fikayo Tomori. Absolutely, they should be the two. Left backs, we're struggling for. Matt Targett should be in there. Luke Shaw can't get a game for Man United. No doubt in my mind, Matt Targett should be in there. Calvin Phillips hasn't kicked a ball for Man City. He should not be in the squad. But it's a very negative-looking 5, if you like, with Declan Rice. Mason Mount very rarely turns up. James Ward-Prowse is neither here nor there. Bellingham was the jewel in that crown. And Jack Grealish, again, should be nowhere near the squad in his current form. He's told us he'll only pick players on form. You know, he's this golden generation of, you got Saka, Sterling's getting on a bit now. Phil Foden. That Mason Mount, them kind of players, these should be players that are challenging to win the World Cup. With this manager in charge, we haven't got a cat and owl chance of winning it.
And Bowen's not scored yet this season either.
No,
even though it's harsh to judge him on that. But
he's not really pulled up any trees in the England shirt as it is, has he? Let's be perfectly honest.
I want to mention some Brighton people, by the way. Duncan Webster again. Brighton are very, very dangerous this year. I know Potter's gone, but Brighton have been exceptional. Yet their defensive partnership has been completely overlooked, and it is outstanding. You've got 3 or 4 questionable centre backs in there,
Yep.
and 2 of the Brighton England centre backs have not even got a look in. It makes no sense. They're not saying they have to start, but why are they not at least in the squad?
Couldn't agree more. But 4 right backs is ridiculous to me. And Trent Alexander-Arnold shouldn't be in that squad as a right back because he's not good enough as a right back, unfortunately, because he can't defend.
Yeah. Listen, I don't understand it. I really don't. And I said in my video that I think this is why, fans get turned off by the Nations League and friendlies and things like that. I mean, Alex, I know, you said you have a big interest in England, and I think that's fair enough. I don't disagree with that at all. Christ, we've had some super chats come in. Peter Griffin, I know that's not your real name, but thank you for $44.99 super chat, matey. That is incredible. Thank you very much for your gesture. You are in the hat many, many times for the draw at the end. Up the A1, thank you for your £10 super chat. Always worth a shot and always willing to support the channel. Tilly would love it. And V's in again. Trying me luck again, says V, with a £10 super chat. So you're in the draw twice again, V. So it's hotting up already for that. So finishing up on England, I think, look, I'll support England in the World Cup. I'm very passionate when it comes to World Cups and Euros and things like that. And we are going to be doing a lot of the World Cup on this channel, which we're very much looking forward to. Both the Nations League games will be live on this channel. We will be doing live watch-alongs for both games. So it'll be very interesting to see how we do, because I think obviously Italy, difficult. Germany, you never know. But I don't have any confidence in the manager, and I think that's a very big problem. We've all been in that position before when we've had problems with the manager.
The one notable absentee for me is James Maddison.
Absolutely
outstanding this season and can't get looking, which tells me he's never going to play for England while this man's in charge. Because it's now the time you should be looking at these players for the World Cup.
Which is why he should have moved to us.
Possibly.
Well, exactly. But apparently he did want to come, Alex. I mean, Ian Wright, come out and said that he told him he wanted to move.
I think he'll come. I saw a kid with a Leicester shirt on in the shop the other day, and he had Maddison number 10. I was like, he's ours in January. You won't be wearing that shirt.
I agree with you. Julie J says, totally agree. Why Slabhead? Make Steve Bruce look world class. Phoenix Pork Pie, good evening to you. These are the players who couldn't win the Euros. How the hell are they even going to compete in the Worlds? We missed a massive chance in the Euros. But am I wrong, Danielle, in saying I don't think we played that well in the Euros? I think we plodded on. I think we played well against Germany.
We did play well against Germany.
We were rank against Scotland. And I don't think we played that well.
We weren't good against Denmark either.
Yeah, we weren't. No, I agree with you. I don't think we played like tournament winners. But, I think sometimes you have to have a bit of luck on your side, and I think we did.
Yeah. I think we did, but I think the luck is going to run out because if I remember in Russia as well, we had a very easy passage through in that tournament, and I still don't think we played very well in that one either.
We had Sweden and Ukraine, or Ukraine and Sweden.
Yeah.
Well, the fact of the matter is, in 2 tournaments, we played 3 top-tier teams. We lost to Belgium twice. There's 2 games. We lost to Croatia, and we also lost to Italy.
And let's not forget England.
We played.
Wow, we lost to Italy on penalties. I'm not going to take that as a loss. It's penalties.
No,
it's
I
flip
see
of the
what
coin.
you mean, Alex, but we should,
we should have won the game because we sat back.
Half.
Yeah, we sat back as soon as we scored. It was ridiculous.
Of course we did.
Down to the manager.
Bath says, does Doobs ever play for Man United? Well, there's a story. He's not even on the bench. He wasn't even on the bench tonight.
They've taken 3 keepers, and he's not there. He's not there.
It's absolutely. But listen, he's come up with all the wrong words lately on social media, so I think he's pissed a lot of fans off, to be honest. Toon Dave, thank you for your £5 super chat, my man. He says, evening, lads and Danielle. Can't go to the game, but my support for the channel. If I get picked out the hat, I'll donate to another Toon Review viewer. Thanks very much, Toon Dave. Mary says, Danielle, The Crown, I'm watching it now. Thank you.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah,
although I'm finding it very hard to watch at the moment. Like, I can't. It just took us like 3 hours to watch one episode because people keep ringing us and talking to us, and I'm like, I haven't got time for this. Like, I need to watch it.
Yeah, just turn your phone off, shut the blinds, and just sit. Good evening, Ronald. Michael says, hello, Susan. I'm getting there. Hope you're well. Good lad, Michael. Lee says, I think this is a big game. We need to turn these draws to wins and kick on. Winning breeds winning. 3-1 the Toon, says Lee. James, thank you for your super chat, mate. Me and my dad are going to the game. Hope to see you. Well, we'll be standing just next to the club shop, next to the Jackie Milburn stand, way before the game. So do come and say hello if you do see us. Paul says, just think about it this way. All the players will be fresh as not many of them play for their clubs as they're out of form. They're all off Southgate's pals he's picked. Yeah, look, it's favouritism. I've got no doubt about that now. And Southgate can come out with that bull rot about, well, we want to keep a squad together and all of this. That's not what, what about these aspiring youngsters who are trying to get in, who have dreams of playing for England, and they see this bull rot every single time the squad's announced? It's crap, man. Geordie Metal, thank you for your 20 quid super chat, buddy, and your continued donations. Southgate has done to England what Cabbage Heat done to us. I don't think it's that bad, but we are getting to that stage.
But he's U-turned completely. He was, If you turn it back 2 years ago, we were playing 4-3-3. We got Sancho and Hudson-Odoi coming through. We got Kane. We were swapping between Kane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was in form. We got strong midfield. We were playing a nice progressive 4-3-3. We were attacking. We were exciting. And he's just U-turned the whole strategy, the whole style, the whole system. I don't understand has he had a personality change? Has he hit his head? He seems like a different person, because I liked his style and the direction we were going in a few years ago. He's just completely U-turned it from nowhere. And I don't get it. I just don't understand.
Yeah. Carl says, reiterating what I just said before, it's not knocking the confidence of the England fans. There must be players thinking, what do I have to do to get a chance in the squad?
And that's what I was saying about manager. Like a good manager will make those decisions and will have the kind of nous to do it. But
when you're seeing the likes of Harry Maguire, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't.
It changed after the Holland game in the Nations Cup, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He paid tours to bits. And after that, he's gone back to this negative style that he had in Middlesbrough, to be honest.
Indeed.
About it.
Stu, hope you're well, mate. Good evening. I'm travelling up to the game from London. Last time I did that, clock got sent off as soon as I got to my seat. Hoping for a big win tomorrow. Well, don't go tomorrow, mate. You just go on Saturday, not tomorrow. Bad idea going tomorrow. Ronald says, Matt Target is solid. Good evening, all. Today's lunch was an all-day breakfast sandwich, 6 out of 10. Well, thank you for that, Mark. I really appreciate you telling us. I will sleep a lot better tonight, buddy.
Nice to share.
It certainly is. Is this not just lazy management? Absolutely. I mean, it's just, like you said, Danielle, this guy has no balls. This guy has he won't take any risks. He won't bring, and I don't buy all this. Oh, well, these guys have been together a while now and we're going into a tournament. Bollocks. If they're out of form, you're going to, I'm sorry, but Harry Maguire is not an international defender. He's just not. No,
and for me, it's balancing the risk, isn't it? So as a manager, you have to balance the risk of, if I don't pick these players and we don't do well, our finger's going to point. Or if I pick these players and we tank, am I going to lose my job?
Yep.
So
I think that's how everybody feels. It's just. Paul says, hi, chat. Quick question. Do you have to play for your club enough to earn the England shirt? Well, of course you do. Otherwise, what's the point?
Apparently.
If you're performing brilliantly and then you're seeing players get picked above you. I mean, take Elliot Anderson, for instance, right? He is in the Scotland under-21 squad through his grandma, right? He's been picked for that. And the Scotland hierarchy have already said they're looking to put him into the full international team next season or next year in the Nations League, right? And give him a shot. That wipes his chances out of playing for England. But if you're Elliot Anderson and you're sitting there as a young kid with dreams of playing international football, and then you're seeing really good players missing out on opportunities to play for your international squad, and you're seeing players like Maguire, Luke Shaw, people who don't even get games, are called up to the squad. What does that say to you? It'll say to Elliot Anderson, well, I want to play international football, and Scotland are giving me the opportunity to do that. I'll go there. And that won't be just Elliot Anderson. That would be a lot of other kids or young players coming through. So he's making a mess of it.
Well, it'd be a mistake for him to choose Scotland. I'm sorry. He's a local lad. And if the trajectory of the club and where we're going, if he's good enough to grow with us and be in the first team in the future.
But I'm just using him hypothetically, Alex. I'm not saying that's fair. I'm just mentioning like kids who are young footballers and they're seeing the England manager picking the same dross squad after squad. It's going to turn players off. If they've got opportunities elsewhere, they're going to take it.
Who deserves a recall? It's not somebody I liked at all in the past, but somebody who's improved his game phenomenally over the last couple of years, being away from the Premier League. And I know a lot of you come for me when I talk about players who've not been in the Premier League for a while, but it's true. Chris Smalling's been really tidy for about 18 months.
Absolutely.
So the fact that Connor Cody and players like that again getting in ahead, they lifted a European Cup last season. Fair enough. I think it was the conference, wasn't it, or the Europa League or the conference?
Doesn't matter. It's a European trophy at the end of the day.
And his passing's improved phenomenally. And Roma are doing really, really well. So the fact that you're getting Cody, he's a relegation battling team, and Smalling, who's challenging for silverware in Serie A, it just doesn't make sense.
Listen, I don't understand it. I'll never understand it as far as I'm concerned, because I know if I was England manager, I'd pick who was playing, who was in form, and I'd make sure those best players who were banging form were out on that pitch for me. You know, if these are going to be international footballers, you can't tell me that you can't put them into a training session for a week or a week and a half and then go on the pitch and perform. So for me, it's all bollocks. It's just bollocks. Magpie in Essex says England always play boring football. Why don't they get it? To be honest, it annoys me. Wish we played entertaining stuff.
We've got the attacking players to do it as well, which is the bomb in all of it.
Absolutely,
we've got fantastic attacking players. The Sackers, the Fodens, you know.
Yeah, he hasn't got the balls, Billy. That's the problem, is what Danielle was saying. He hasn't got the balls to go for it.
A lot of it comes down to the fact we've got Harry Kane in the side, because although he scores bucket loads of goals, he's doing it for England also. The style of play with him in it, because he's that slow. We've got no players going for the middle, and I've said it for years. Shouldn't be playing in England side.
Yeah, but we could have Bellingham. Our team is perfect for a 4-2-3-1. Perfect, because we could have Rice and Phillips as the double pivot, and then you can have Bellingham as the 10. And then if you don't want Bellingham as the 10, you put Mason Mount there, you put James Maddison there, you put Foden there, or you put Foden out wide, and then you've got Kane as the... It works. We've got the players to play a 4-2-3-1.
It don't work with Kane, though. It doesn't work with Kane as a 1 because he keeps dropping deep, thinking he can play the ball.
Yeah, but that would be all right, because if you've got people as mobile as Maddison and Bellingham, then they can run beyond, and you've got the wingers. I think it could work. But
you want Kane in the penalty box. That's where you want it.
But Billy won't tell Harry Kane because he hasn't got the balls to do it.
No, he doesn't.
And that's the difference. You know, I guarantee if it was somebody like, I don't know, a Tomori or an Ivan Toney up there, and they were coming back as far as Harry Kane does, you bet your bottom dollar that Southgate would be screaming for them to get up front.
He'd have them off.
But because it's Harry Kane and who he is.
But this is why we need a competent manager. If you look at France, their manager has been playing Giroud for years because he goes for system over player, and he makes sure the system is functional and they win matches. He doesn't care if he's got Mbappe and Benzema there. He went with Giroud because he wanted the system that functioned, that worked for the whole team. We don't do that. We'll just play whoever because of personalities or wages. We'll put them in the starting lineup, and it's ridiculous.
Annie, I don't know what's wrong with you. Horrendous PTSD. Can we stop talking about it, please? Look, Annie, I know you were a big fan of Steve Bruce, and that's gone entirely backwards for you again. And I know you've been speaking highly of Gareth Southgate. How? I don't know. I don't know where you're coming from with that. I seen your tweet earlier on supporting him. I think you've had a Castoria, mate, a massive Castoria. But, you know, you're entitled to your opinion, Annie. But you've fallen on your sword once or twice supporting managers, and I think the same is going to happen with you here. But I still love you. Mason says, would rather support Wales than watch England, who has a manager. Well, yeah, that's fair enough, Mason. But we don't, that's language I don't go into. Ronald says, Southgate threw them young players under the bus with the penalties in the Euros. I held him totally responsible. I agree with Dan Burn deserves a squad. I don't think Dan Burn deserves a place in the squad. No. I don't think he's international class. I know I may be
I think he's better than Connor Cody, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But I just think, you know, again,
international class
a lot, though, has he?
So maybe not. But he's better than a couple that have got a call up.
But
so
if we're going along the lines,
isn't it? That's the point.
If we're going along the lines of saying, oh, well, he's, you know, we're hammering the manager for picking players who don't get games. Dan Burn hasn't played. I know he comes on as sub, but he hasn't played a great deal. So we're kind of in the same boat with that. Magpie in Essex says, hope on a weekend we take our chances and win 3-0. We're going to move on to the game shortly because we've got, hopefully Matt will be coming in shortly. Southgate is a scared little boy who won't make any big calls on players. J-Law says, evening, guys. Hope you're all good. Just about to watch from the start. Looking forward to the viewing. Opinions on this young lad from Oz. Doubt he'll be on 25Ks. It'll take a few years for first team. He will be, mate. There is no doubt about that. They want him, and they're going to get him.
There's a lot of people sniffing around him. So we've got to make sure we pay the fee.
Annie says they're in there because they've done well for England and have done well for Southgate. Maguire. Annie.
Not recently. Maguire's been shocking for Southgate. Do you not see our recent form? We got demolished.
I'll never understand it. But there you go. Anyway, we have a Bournemouth fan coming in and a cherry indeed. Nice to see them back in the Premier League. For how long, we're not sure. But listen, they're on the same points as us, and we think we've had a good start. So,
well I mean, it is
can't
a
be
good
any
start
worse than
compared
last
to
season.
year.
Absolutely, yeah. We welcome Matt. Good evening, buddy.
Hello, how you doing?
We're good. We've just been talking about the England squad there just before you came on, Matt. I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
A few interesting ones. Maguire.
Yeah.
Mark on that
Funny
one.
how his name keeps coming up, isn't it?
I think his goalkeepers, he's picked the right goalkeepers there. Not too sure about Ivan Toney, but see what happens. But I would say out of all the players, I probably would have left Maguire out. But
yeah, it's never going to change, though, is it? It really isn't. As far as Southgate's concerned, he does things his way. Ian Fleming, thank you for your £10 super chat. He says, I'm going for 4-0 on Saturday. Don't put me in for the tickets, Paul. Ian, you always complicate things. Jesus. Right, Matt, if we look at Bournemouth, I did do a video earlier on today, and I did say that Bournemouth had a bit of a iffy start of the season. And obviously, I know you're on the same points as Newcastle, but I was talking about results-wise because you've took some pastings. But now you've got, Gary. Is it Gary O'Neill? It is Gary O'Neill, isn't it?
Gary O'Neill, yeah.
Yeah. And that confidence boost that you got from, obviously, the win at Forest, that was a tremendous comeback. At least he had the bottle to change things at half-time, didn't he? And really went for it. Yeah.
I mean, the first half, I don't know what you guys have seen of it, but the first half, we were very poor. But the changes he made at half-time were absolutely spot on, and it was a totally different side in the second half. So, it's a good attribute to have as a coach, as a manager, to make those kind of decisions. And he got it absolutely spot on the day. And it's never good to go 2-0 down. You don't want to go 2-0 down, do you? But it is good if you can. I would have been happy with a point being 2-0 down at half time, but to get all three was a fantastic result.
So do you think on Saturday do you think he'll go the same way that he did the second half at Forest, or do you think he'd be a bit more cautious?
I would like to think he'd go the same sort of way as he did in the second half. Yeah. And set up like that. But he's a new manager, isn't he? Let's be fair, and he's obviously learning the trade, just like Eddie did with us years and years ago. He's just learning the trade. So I'd like to think he'd go with the same sort of formation and set up with what he did with the second half of the Forest game. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game Saturday.
Well, AFC Bournemouth Fan TV are joining us. Good evening. And they've gone 2-1 to Bournemouth. Now, of course, you have, Alex is shaking his head there, but you have had victories in the past against us, obviously. Of course, we'll all remember the dreadful, was it 3-1 defeat with the Wally and the Brolly, Steve McLaren's final game as Newcastle United manager, where literally Richie Fraser ripped us a new one that day. Now, obviously, they're on the side of the Geordies, but What's your take? How's Bournemouth fans feeling about Ryan Fraser? Because it ended quite badly there, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, it might be different to a lot of different. Oh, hello, what's that?
Sorry.
It's all right. Billy loves his 80s porn music for some reason. He just, I don't know where the hell you were going with that, Billy, and I don't really want to know what you're watching there.
I don't want to know who was ringing you.
Absolutely not.
It was the plumber.
Yeah, I bet it was. Sorry, Matt, go on, mate.
Yeah, Ryan Fraser. Yeah, he's not the most fondest of players with the Bournemouth faithful. I mean, he had a fantastic couple of seasons with us. He had a loan move to Ipswich. Our first season we were in the Premier League, and then the second season he come back and he started to really develop and pushed on from there. But unfortunately, it was his attitude in the last season before we got relegated. During that season, obviously with the COVID, his contract was up.
Yeah,
a lot of our out-of-contracted players signed 2-month extensions to see us through. And obviously we were in a relegation battle at the time. And obviously Ryan decided against the contract, which has made him sort of very unfavourable now, which was a shame. It was a shame to, I mean, you know, he
spent a good time, a long while down there, didn't he? Because coming from Scotland, and Eddie nurtured him, didn't he?
Yeah, we bought him for 200,000 when we were in League One from Aberdeen. You know, Eddie took him under his wing, nurtured him. You know, made him into a very, very decent player. You know, I mean, I've got nothing against Ryan Fraser in terms of his ability as a player, but just his attitude towards the, you know, the end of that spell could have been better. I mean, if it had been the shoe on the other foot, I mean, you guys probably would be saying the same thing. But
no, we agree with you. With the first 12 months while he was here, his attitude was pretty bad, to say the least, wasn't it?
He literally never played.
That's the thing with. I mean, I've heard from quite a few Geordie fans that they don't really respect him in the way of his attitude, which
you can have him back if you want. We'll take Lloyd Kelly.
No, you're right. Kelly, thanks.
Alfie Yule, thank you for your $8.99 super chat, mate. There's no comment there, but thank you so much for that. Now we'll quickly talk about Eddie Howe, Matt, because obviously the Bournemouth fans still adore him. There's no doubt about that, because what he did for your club was simply incredible, and somebody like that who does that for a football club will always be in high esteem. Obviously he lost his job in the end. I think that was more down to injuries than anything else that you suffered, and the fact that Bournemouth shouldn't have gone down anyway. The stinking Villa should have gone down. Done by, funny enough, technology again. Yeah, but what he did for your club, taking it from where it was to obviously now, you're a Premier League team again. You were a championship side, a good championship side last year. Had a few seasons in the Premier League. The man is just incredible. His work ethic is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, just Eddie as a coach, as a manager, his attention to detail is second to none, which I'm sure you guys would have seen in his time at Newcastle. He is absolutely metaphorical on everything he does, from his player management to what he does in coaching to how he conducts himself in interviews. I mean, for me, the guy's God. I mean, down here, he's an absolute icon. From where we were, little old Bournemouth in League Two, with minus 17 points, to when he took over as an untried manager, to what he achieved is an absolute fairy tale. And to be fair to what he's done to you guys, I mean, if we, from an outside,
we love him. We absolutely,
he's incredible.
Yeah, you can see that, and part of me still wishes he was with us. But I mean,
I don't know whether you'd agree, Matt, but I think he needed that time away from football, didn't he? After what he did for you, but he didn't sit on his backside. He visited overseas managers, clubs, and had gained a lot of ideas about what to put into practice when he got his next job. He's just full on but he's full on in a good way. And I think I like the interview he had with Alan Shearer not a few days ago when he said that, no more Mr. Nice Guy, because everybody sees Eddie Howe and thinks, this guy can't lose his temper or anything. But, behind the scenes, he kicks ass.
Yeah, I mean, some of the Bournemouth players would say he definitely lost his rag a fair few times in the changing room at Bournemouth. Yeah. But I mean, for Eddie, I mean, look what he's done to Joel Linton. I mean, this guy is predominantly a striker, and Eddie has the ability to see something else in a player and can get the best out of somebody that's a striker in a different position. I mean, he's just completely changed your club completely, isn't it? I mean, obviously the ownership is obviously helped. Obviously getting rid of Mr. Ashley.
Who?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, apart from Saturday, because obviously we need the points.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't expect you to come and say, "Oh, I love Eddie Howe, so I want Newcastle to win." I understand that.
But other than that, I hope Eddie is successful at that club because it's what he deserves. He's a fantastic manager.
Well, if things go well, he could be a legend at both clubs, couldn't he? I mean, if he gets the right backing from the new owners at Newcastle, he's clearly got the talent as a manager. There is no doubt about that. Bath says, did we go for Ben Foster? Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
He actually put on his podcast that he was at St. James's Park. So it was a strange one, that, but we went and got Mr. Carrius instead, so I expect him to be on the bench. Straffy says, Billy, was that the Pornhub chat line? Samsonite says, let's hope we don't have to field Fraser. Well, I'm pretty hoping he doesn't, actually. I want to see Anderson in. Conrad says, the plumber wants to lay some pipes, Billy.
Yeah, we'll go.
Another Bournemouth channel. Is this the one you're on, Matt?
Yeah, that's our channel, Up the Cherries.
I thought as well. I recognised it. It's going to be an attacking game. O'Neill in the second half versus Forest played like Sir Eddie taught us. I'm going to go for Newcastle 3, the Cherries 4.
Oh, what a game that would be.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's noticed how much better we are defensively. We tend not to concede. I mean, obviously we conceded 3 against City, but Erling Haaland decided to destroy us in the second half. Alfie, thanks for another 79 pence, matey. Thank you so much. Right, if we move on, Alex, you keep sending me weird messages. You've got the Longstaff quote about Eddie Howe, which we'll come on to.
There's only one message.
All right, go on then. What did he say?
No, it was to link on to when you were talking about Eddie Howe, but that was like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's Longstaff's quote after he'd got his contract, saying that everything he says, I trust. Everything he tells me to do, I'll do because I believe it's going to make me a better footballer. And all of the players, like people like Willock, they've all come out with quotes, just absolutely singing his praises, saying they'd run through walls for him. Which is
I think in Longstaff's case is I try. Not always do. I think we've learned that with Sean over the seasons. But listen, I mean, Matt, you've had some hidings this season. I mean, the Liverpool one obviously stands out because you were destroyed there. It's fair to say. But what was the reaction from the players? I mean, the fans must have been sick as pigs. But obviously, Liverpool, they've been a bit iffy this season. And then sort of the beat you, and then how did your players respond?
I mean, to that, that 9-0 drubbing. I mean, at the time, Parker had already lost the changing room with the comments he'd been making. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he was making negative comments towards the board. He was saying that he didn't have the tools to keep the club in the division. So obviously that's going to affect you as a player. I mean, I went up to Liverpool and sat through the whole 90 plus minutes of it.
You kept telling
man. Hats off to you.
And that day, none of those players out there were playing for him. Do you know what I mean? It was like watching an under-15s versus a men's team. They walked through the defence. I mean, I expected a comeback from Liverpool because obviously they've not had a good start to the season, so we knew it wasn't going to be an easy game. But I mean, you can't take a 9-0 hiding. Obviously, the way the players responded, I mean, that's quite an easy answer because he was sacked on the Tuesday. The Monday, I believe it was, if I remember.
Was that an obvious thing that happened? Do you think after the comments he'd made and the obviously demoralised the dressing room as well? So was it on the cards?
It's quite open and known that it wasn't on the set of results that he was sacked on. It was he was purely sacked on the fact that he wasn't buying into the club's philosophy.
Because you had Arsenal, City, Liverpool all within the first 4 fixtures.
Yeah, I mean,
it was always going to
sack a manager on those 3 games.
Yeah,
I'd have sacked him for the cardigan.
Yeah.
Oh, he likes his cardigans to Scotty Parker.
He's got some terrible fashion sense, but
yeah,
you know, in terms of the players' reaction, you know, Gary O'Neill got a hold of him, and there was a totally different side against Wolves and Forest. I mean, even the first half against Forest, we weren't great, but it was a totally different side to what we saw the week before at Liverpool. So, you know, there's someone in the dugout now that's given them a bit of belief, which is what Parker wasn't doing.
Which is exactly what Eddie Howe gave our team last season, belief, and actually believed in the players that he had. And from the second that he walked in the door, I mean, you guys will remember the first training session, you know, when you saw players like John Joe Shelvey leaning against a corner flag because he was knackered. Comments like he was going to bed at 8 o'clock at night because he was exhausted, but it was good for him. I've never seen Shelvey as fit as he was last season after Eddie Howe got a hold of him. And, you know, it's fair to say we've missed him this season after his injury. You're incredibly lucky to have Sir Eddie. He is so bright, dedicated, knowledgeable. It will be amazing to see what he does with the resources at Newcastle. Yeah, which is exactly just reiterating what you said, Matt. It's exciting stuff for us. But as for Saturday, how are Bournemouth going to line up, do you think, formation wise?
I think probably how he's kind of lined up the last 2 games. You know, at the start of the season we were lining up with 3 at the back, but I think he'll go with 4 at the back. You know, we got our typical sort of ball winners in the centre of the park with Lewis Cook and Jefferson Lerma. We'll have those 2 anchoring in the midfield there. You got Philip Billing, who likes to push forward. I mean, if he starts with Solanke up front with the likes of Tavernier and Christie either side of him, then obviously Billing will be a man that will push on to support Solanke. So I think that's kind of the approach we'll probably take.
Your substitutions, you mentioned you made substitutions and changed in the second half against Forest. I'm just curious about that because you made one.
Well,
you brought Fredericks on, and then the rest weren't until 85 minutes and beyond.
Yeah,
so what happened in that second half? He
changed Fredericks. He brought Fredericks on and pushed Smithy into the back 5. I think it was. I think he went with a back 5. I think Fredericks absolutely tore that wing up.
Is it interesting because you're praising, and I see it the opposite way around. I see it as naivety starting with the wrong formation against Forest, and having to fix it halfway through the game.
It was his first game, man. Give it.
No, I understand. And that game against Forest,
Matt, I just better let you know, like we have, like in Alex there, he's known as our stato. He's an incredible statistician and does a wonderful job for the channel. And he's a lovely lad, but he is the Simon Cowell of the Toon Review. Just to let you know. So you know, his questions. I mean, it's different to every other human being on the planet.
It's genuinely. I'm just curious, genuinely, because I've seen the goals, and the 3 goals. You got an XG of 0.78 for that match. So you scored the 3 goals from less than 1 goal XG, and Forest got close to 2 and scored 2. So that to me suggests a couple of worldies and very good goals were scored, and it's not likely to. You can't consistently produce that. You need to start producing more, like we're doing at the moment, in terms of we're putting up the XG, and over time it does translate into the performances, translate into the points over time.
Well, if we took our chances this season, we'd be top of the league. I think we've all agreed on that. Plus the VAR crap that we've had against us, we've lost 9 points because of that. But I think what it does do, Matt, is it you know, coming back like that. There's not just euphoria with the fans. there's euphoria in the dressing room when they go back in that dressing room. Think, wow, we've come back in the Premier League from 2-0 down. We've won 3-2 at an away ground. Everybody goes back to Bournemouth incredibly happy and bouncing, and they'll be, I think, quite upset that they didn't get to play last weekend. Obviously, it was completely out of everybody's hands what happened. So they'll be looking to continue that. So I think it's very important that Newcastle, Danielle, go out and try and get an early goal just to try and maybe knock the confidence back again with his Bournemouth players.
Absolutely. I think we do have to get an early goal, and I think obviously the last home game we just really struggled to finish. We had a lot of shots, and obviously taking into account the disgraceful decision, the VAR.
Yeah.
Let's hope I would really like to have many goals scored in this game without it taking 5 hours with VAR checking everything. Like,
it would be nice, yeah.
It's really starting to grate on us now. It's we talked about this anyway in terms of VAR and how you can't really celebrate anymore because you know what's going to happen. You'll just watch the screen and wait for the VAR checking goal for some stupid reason.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say that, but I think it's really important that we score early because I think that obviously St James's will be rocking, absolutely rocking on Saturday. So I think as the game goes on, the longer it goes without a goal being scored for us, then I think things might quieten down.
Yeah.
So an early goal would really kind of
Get
set
us
the
going.
stall out and set the tone of the game. So fingers crossed. Let's hope both sides don't get any stupid VAR decisions this weekend, please.
Doug from the Dugout Football Channel, thank you very much for your £5 super chat, matey. Go and subscribe to Doug. Brilliant channel there. Liverpool fan, but he does lots of football content on that channel. So go and give Doug a subscription as well. And of course, the UTC IED, that's a handful. AFC Bournemouth fans channel, which Matt is obviously a part of. Go and give that a subscribe as well. Let's show you love for all the other Premier League teams apart from Man United and Everton and all the Liverpool and to name a few. I don't like Merseyside right now. But he says, I have to ask this. What did you make of Todd Bowley's he's talking about Todd Bowley's suggestion for a Premier League All-Star match. Listen, simple answer is he's wanting to Americanize the football over here, and it's just not going to happen. The fans wouldn't let it happen anyway. I think you've got all-star games in basketball, baseball, ice hockey over there. No. Me, Matt, and Sam had to share a car with a Liverpool fan back to Bournemouth. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh God Almighty!
Yeah, that was painful.
I can imagine. Jeez. That's
you should have stopped off at services and just left him at the toilet and just carried on.
If he'd have stopped off, I wouldn't have got back in. I'd have been walking back.
God. Quick talk about Matt Ritchie. Matt, obviously, he's done incredibly well for you guys when he was there, and he came to Newcastle, and he's been really good for us as well. You have to say, but he has dwindled in the last couple of seasons. Obviously, age is catching up on him. But you can never take away his effort and his passion. And Billy, I know he's been sort of dwindling away, but the effort, the passion for the club, and when he does go, he goes with our blessing, doesn't he? Because we all thought he was coming back to you guys in the summer, maybe as a player coaching role, Billy, which we can see him doing in the future.
I think he'd be fantastic at it. I think if his emotion, his passion rubs off on players, it's going to be a massive plus for whoever's being coached by him. The first 2 seasons for us, he was absolutely phenomenal. The effort, he put 110% every single week. Scored some crucial goals for us, helped us get promoted. It was good the season after that. Modern professional. Be a fantastic coach for anybody, really. I'm sure that Eddie Howe will be looking to keep him on the staff after he does retire. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Richie, Matt? Do you think he will end up back at Bournemouth in some capacity?
I mean, quite a lot of our former players come back and end up within the youth academy or in some sort of capacity. I mean, he was a fantastic servant again to the club. We had some great years with Richie. He scored some fantastic, memorable goals. A great player. I was actually quite sad when we lost him, to be honest, to you guys. I mean, he made the decision to drop down to the Championship and, to play, obviously for a size club like yours, obviously even in the Championship, that's a big pull.
I think Rafa was a big factor in that move.
Rafa,
yeah.
Of course, you had Rafa at the time as well, didn't you? So,
yeah.
you know, I mean, he's played some good games for you guys. I mean, I can see that he's kind of on the fringes of the side now, so I don't think it'll be much longer that he'll be
He's
there.
definitely gone. Against Tranmere, he was really struggling.
Yeah, he was.
struggling.
I mean, but the thing is with Eddie as well is Eddie is very, very loyal to his players, and sometimes he's possibly a little bit too loyal. So
we've seen that in Jacob Murphy this season already. To be honest, but when we know that he's just not good enough, he seems to have this thing about subbing Almiron for Murphy, and Murphy had his, like Alex has just said, Murphy had a chance as well in the match against Tranmere, and he was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. So sometimes, you know, if he has got a weak point, so to speak, that he needs to try and work on, is just not to be too loyal to players that really aren't good enough.
Yeah, because I mean. Yeah, I mean, you're spot on there. I mean, because I mean, for us, from our perspective, you know, I mean, he brought the club from, you know, League One up to the Premier League, and you know, most of our squad for the first couple of seasons were League One players that he had while he was in League One with us. So he is. I mean, it's a good quality, but at the same time, it can be a negative quality to have as well.
Yeah.
I don't think Richie will go back to Bournemouth now, though. I think if he was ever going to go back, I think it'd have been in the summer, just gone. I think now I think he'll go into coaching or something, and I think he'll stay with Eddie Howe and the current.
Spacebar's just put a comment on Alex saying that he thinks Richie wants to go and play for Portsmouth before he retires.
No, that's right. That is correct.
Is it really?
Yeah, no, that is correct. I've seen a lot in the Pompey press lately that, I mean, he started with Pompey. And he's a Pompey boy, so maybe I believe he wants to end his days at Portsmouth.
Wow. Okay.
I still think he'll come back and coach with Eddie Howe and the coaching staff. I think that seems to be. It's a bit fishy why he's still around, because we all expected him to go in the
related. Me, you know, I genuinely do.
They do.
I mean, I've never known two people look like each other and not be related. There was something on social media the other day where Matt Ritchie was coming on a substitute and they were standing together, and I thought, bloody hell! I've always thought that Matt Ritchie looks a bit like Eddie Howe, even when they were both at Bournemouth. But lately, now that Ritchie's getting a little bit older and a few little wrinkles are creeping in, you know what it is? They look quite similar. John Clifton, thank you for your new membership. Welcome to the family, matey. Glad to have you on board. So if you
Ramsey,
sorry,
adding Gordon Ramsay to the equation, you've got three of them, didn't you? They all look all three of them.
Well, yeah, I think Gordon Ramsay looks slightly older than Billy.
Well, he could be the dad.
I mean, he's got a lot more wrinkles, hasn't he? Why the hell are we talking about wrinkles anyway? Are you going to the game on Saturday, Matt?
Unfortunately, no, I'm not. I got something else that's come up for.
I mean, look at that. I mean, come on. Nobody can tell me that they're not related. I mean, it's frightening. It is really freaky.
The nose and everything, it's the same.
Even Grandad behind then, unlike him, isn't he? Let's be honest.
His eyes look a bit funny in the background, Billy. He's like, look at his right eye. It's sort of right. Let's not get into that. Well, yeah. Anything you guys want to ask Matt while he's on? I do. Scatto's got a few questions.
I want to ask.
I have some.
What formation do you think you're going to go for then? Because you've been started off. You tried your 4-2-3-1s with your Christie and that overlapping with Solanke up front. You changed to the back five to match Forest up, and it worked pretty well. What do you think you're going to try against us? Because we play a 4-3-3, nice three midfielders, Icicle Wilson up top with wingers. How do you think you will approach the game away against us?
I reckon it probably, depending on Fredericks and his fitness. If he's fit, he'd probably go with five at the back. As it's an away game, I reckon he will probably start with that. Yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, is Wilson fit? Is he? Is he going to be playing Saturday?
No. Probably not.
Probably not.
I mean, Forest came away to St James's Park and played a five at the back, and we did actually struggle to break them down for a while. It was.
I mean, it took a wonder goal to break the deadlock from Cher, to be honest. But
Yeah, I did see that goal. That was unbelievable.
Well,
wasn't it?
John Stones was obviously watching because he scored a very, very similar. Mind you, I don't know what the hell the Dortmund goalkeeper was doing. He sort of put his arm out to say, it's past us. I'm not bothering. It was really strange. Sean Lovick, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. Make me a winner. Well, we will have to see whoever's doing the draw at the end of the show. Just a quick question.
I've got a question for Matt.
Okay, hit it, Billy. Hit it.
What happened to Dean Corks? I remember visiting there in 1988 with some friends to see Coventry play there in the League Cup tie. Very old ground, wooden stands and everything. Do you know what? When Billy starts talking like this, I feel like playing that old Hoverson music. You know what I mean? Back in the day. Sorry, Billy. So I just wonder what happened to it. They knocked it down and built on it, or what? I just wondered what happened to Dean Court.
When did you say you come down here? 1988.
1988, yeah.
Captain Caveman was still popular.
Yeah, we had that ground up until 1999, 2000. No, sorry, 2000, 2001 season. We had that ground, and then we demolished it. Turned it around 90 degrees, and we could only then afford to build 3 stands.
Yeah, I remember that. You only had 3 stands for a while, a little like Oxford United have now.
Yeah, pretty much exactly. Yeah. Pretty much exactly like the Kassam Stadium at Oxford. Yeah, exactly like that. But when we got promoted to the Championship, we put in a temporary 4th stand. And it's got to have the title as the world's longest temporary football stand because it's still standing 9 years later. Wow. So, we've now technically got 4 stands, but one of them is classed as temporary.
Do you think there'll ever be any plans to expand the stadium? Because I know that if Bournemouth are going to be around the Premier League, and to be honest, I hope they are, because I'm sick of the usual crap coming up all the time. I do have a soft spot for Bournemouth simply because, Bournemouth seem to be our farm team and give us quite some decent players over the years. But surely they've got to expand it eventually. Is the support base there, do you think?
The support base will be there for, I would say, a nice 25,000 seater stadium. The problem is that we don't actually own the 3 stands. Going back quite a few years here, sort of, I'm going back probably 15 years. The club at the time was cash strapped. This was before Eddie came in as manager, and we had to sell the 3 stands. So there's the 3 stands are actually owned by another company called Struckdean, which we rent them off. We actually own the pitch, but we don't own the stands. So,
Jesus, that's complicated.
I know the club have tried to negotiate with Struckdean to try and buy the stadium back, but there's all sorts of implications that we'll be here all night. So, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah. And finally, before you go, Kungal's asking, who's got a very, very interesting profile picture there of Billy. Can you ask him on his thoughts on Anthony? Because he looks like a player.
Yeah. Anthony, definitely one to keep an eye on. Good little player, tricky little player. Links up well with a player called Zamora on the left-hand side when he plays on the left. He's mainly started on the bench recently, but wouldn't be surprised if he started him Saturday. Yeah. But yeah, no, he is definitely one for the future, Anthony.
Cool. And before you go, Matt, a prediction.
As much as I love Eddie, and after this game, I hope Newcastle have a great season. I really do, but I'm hoping we come away 2-1 winners.
Yep.
That's for me. So I can't see from our side of it being a high scoring game. Our main thing is not to concede early this time.
See, for me, for a perfect match for Bournemouth would be 1-1 going into like the 93rd minute or something, and Ryan Fraser to score an own goal.
I'll take that.
What are you talking about?
In the 93rd minute.
No, I'm saying that would be perfect for the Bournemouth fans, Danielle.
Yeah,
You know,
not
giving
for
out the
us.
feel about. Well, not for us, obviously. I don't think that's going to happen, but
Touch
hypothetically.
wood immediately. How dare you say that?
Oh,
It's
Jesus
all right.
Christ.
Ryan Fraser's never seen the 93rd minute. Don't worry about that.
Nah, that's
That's a
true.
good point.
Good point, well made, Billy.
Yeah, he hasn't seen that for a while. Listen, Matt, it's been a pleasure having you on, buddy. And you're welcome on any time. Really happy you came on and give us a Bournemouth insider, just to how you think the game will go, and obviously about Eddie, etc. So thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Yeah, no, cheers, guys. Thanks for having us on.
No problem. Take care, buddy.
And
Yeah,
you guys. Cheers, guys.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
Top lad. So there you go. That was Matt, the Bournemouth fan. We'll definitely get him back on. He knows his stuff, does Matt. He's a top lad. So I'll put their channel link in the description as well, so you can get down there and get subscribed and give them a bit of a punt. Frank says Gordon Ramsay can hold a pack of cards in his face. I've heard that before. Yes. Joel says Isak is better than Wilson. Not that Wilson isn't great, but Isak is better in my opinion. Peter says 4-0 the Toon with an Isak hat-trick and 1 for Botman. Southgate, not good manager. Wash hands. I think that means that somebody's put a wash hands emoji, isn't it? Frank says play the Keegan 3-3-4. Spacebar says last time I was at Dean Court, Newcastle United got a hide and Harry Redknapp was in charge of Bournemouth. Mind, we were awful. Side note, heard Bowley asked Tuchel to play a 4-4-3. Part of the reason Tuchel lost interest. Interesting. Imagine spending 230 million quid, then immediately sacking the manager. We did an interview. Eddie Mitchell, the former owner. He did have plans to bring it up to 22,000 and get the stadium off Structerdine, but it never happened, sadly. Well, hopefully it will.
It's very
Hopefully
sad, isn't it? That
Yeah,
that's happened,
it is.
and it could happen to any club. It could
Yeah.
really do, happen to anyone. So, I mean, look at us. If we hadn't got our takeover, God knows where we'd be now. I mean, the future wasn't looking bright, was it?
No. Susan says, I didn't realise Billy had a twin.
You must have seen him on telly, Brad Pitt.
That's a bold statement right there, Billy. Yeah. Foxy says, hey guys and Danielle, great show as always. Thank you very much. Wayne Faraday was utterly dreadful. God awful. Oh. Foxy said there's one player I'd take from Bournemouth. It would be Jefferson Lerma. He was. Did we not mention him in our summer transfer shows, Alex? I'm sure.
I don't think
we
so.
mentioned him.
Maybe it was mostly Lloyd Kelly, the centre back, their captain, the young centre back that we mentioned. But Lerma was a very, very competent midfielder as well.
You probably did. To be fair, you covered most players throughout the world in those transfer shows.
I normally take
everyone.
Lerma. Like Football Manager, Lerma's a good player.
Renier, thank you very much. Sorry, Billy?
Dan Juma used to play for Bournemouth, didn't he, as well? So, I mean,
Dan Juma, he did. Right. Alex, we'll come on to your little thing in just a second. But I've been doing my homework again. So I'm going to do my little stats stuff that I've put together, as I tend to do now for these reviews. Hang on. Susan says, have you seen Brad Pitt lately, Billy?
How do you know that?
Oh my goodness. Francisco, you sexy voiced Costa Rican. No, is it? No, it's Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican love God. Hey fam, when Wilson comes back, what do you think of a 4-2-4 with our regular wings and double striker Bruno and Joe in the middle? Thanks for your laughs. Hey.
Good work.
V also says you were too good for Angelina, Billy.
Thanks for the support, V. Thanks for the support.
Yeah. Right. So Newcastle United against Bournemouth, and the all-time record. We've played each other 14 times, all in all, in cup competitions and Premier League. Newcastle have won 6, Bournemouth have won 5, and we've drawn 3. The last Premier League meeting was, of course, behind closed doors, and I finished Bournemouth 1, Newcastle United 4, with goals from Gale, Longstaff, Almiron, and Lazaro. The last Premier League meeting at St James's Park was Newcastle United 2, Bournemouth 1, with goals from Yedlin and Clark. And Bournemouth's goal was scored by Wilson.
Wow.
Was that Yedlin goal? Wasn't that his
yes
bullet diving header?
Yes.
I think I remember.
But that Wilson wasn't Callum; it was Harry. The Premier League record between the two sides is we've played each other 8 times. Newcastle have won 4, Bournemouth have won 2, and 2 have been drawn, with Newcastle scoring 14 and Bournemouth 11. So scoring very similar together. So I expect goals. And finally, the last Premier League win for Bournemouth at St James's Park was on the 4th of November 2017 with a 1-0 win. Cook scoring in the 90th minute.
Oh, I remember that game.
Yeah. And Mr. Bruce was in charge of that.
Enough said.
So there you go. That is my stats rundown on the Newcastle versus Bournemouth. Right, Stato. Here we go.
There we go. So for people who don't know Bournemouth, we've mentioned them briefly. Can I zoom in a tiny bit more? There is their 4-2-3-1 that they tried. That they have tried recently. It's not worked particularly well. They've brought Fredericks on as a sub and shuffled it around slightly.
Yeah.
And then Billing's gone up top with Solanke. Christian Tavernier have been sort of used. Obviously, you mentioned the young and Anthony, the 22-year-old, has been pretty decent coming off the bench. Steady midfield. Lerma's very good. Cook's I think it's not as good as he was. Kelly, obviously, very, very important for them as a centre-back. He's their captain, very competent. Zamora's quite tidy. Still don't think there's enough quality in here, though. A lot of people keep saying 3-0. Personally, if we don't score 5, I'll be disappointed. I think if we've got Bruno and Maxi back, I apologise for any Bournemouth fans still watching. With the quality that we've got, if we can get our players back, all but Wilson, with Bruno and Maxi on the pitch, I want 5. We've been absolutely battering people on XG. We've been playing good football. We've been getting high volumes of chances. We look hungry, and I'm waiting for at least a 5-0. And I think it's Bournemouth. It's got to be. It's absolutely got to be.
Well, I didn't know Paqueta and Ben Rama and Antonio were on the bench for Bournemouth. I think that's an interesting prospect there, Alex.
Oh, this is just my mishmash of everything. This was why. Well, the West Ham game got cancelled, so I'd got tons of stuff done for that, and it didn't go ahead. So all my West Ham stuff got chucked to the side.
Yeah, John Clifton, thank you for your 20 quid super chat, mate. You're in the draw 4 times over. Now, Matt did mention Bournemouth going 5 at the back, Alex. So
yeah, with Fredericks came on. So
right.
Who did they actually sub off? It was this was the Nottingham Forest game. So it was Ryan Fredericks came on. It doesn't say who came off. Fredericks for I'm not sure who came off for him specifically. Somebody came off. It might tell me on SofaScore. Let's look at this game. So it was where are they? 40. It was Zamora that came off. So he took off a fullback and went to 5 at the back. I'm not sure exactly how that worked out. Don't know. But they've got players that can play further back, like Lerma can drop back. So they're fairly versatile. They've got a reasonably good squad. They've got a good depth. It's just not necessarily quality depth. But they're okay. They are okay. And I do agree with Scott Parker's comments. I do think they needed 2 or 3 better players just to meet it up a little bit. They just needed a little bit more quality because ultimately the goal is to try and finish sort of 17th or 16th and just get enough points. And they showed enough fight against Villa on the first day of the season with a 2-0 win against a Villa side trying to play a strong 4-3-3. I think they've changed since then. So they've got it in their locker when they want to turn up. They can take advantage of teams having a bit of a wobble and stuff. And in their own right, they should be able to challenge the newly promoted teams as well. So they did very well in the Championship. And Solanke's no joke. 25 years old now as well. He got a bunch of goals in the Championship. There's 27 or 29 goals in the Championship, like 7 assists. He's grown up. He's a lot better.
He was up there with Mitro for most of the season, wasn't he?
He was, in the Championship. Very well.
Yeah.
But here, this is what I was mentioning before about their last game. So this was their game against Forest. So they did score 3, but from 0.78 xG. So those were absolute, worldies that they scored, really. And if we go down and have a look, Solanke's goal was from a 0.06 xG. The other one was from a 0.32, and then this absolute crazy shot from Billing was a 0.02 xG. So a couple of goals in there that are difficult to score on a consistent basis because they're of such quality. And in these games as well, they're not doing tremendously well. They got 3 shots on target in that game, and those 3 were the goals. They're not dominating possession. They're not out passing teams. I feel like this is going to be another one of those games where we get a huge volume of corners, set pieces, chances. We need to.
It's about time that we put the buggers away. To be honest,
I mean, if you can have a look at what they're producing here in the first half, this backs up what what I'm really sorry, I forgot the guest's name.
Yeah,
Matt. This is what, but this backs up what Matt said earlier on that they had a poor first half. They got 0.08 goals XG from the first half, so they had a shocking first half in terms of anything. Statistically or on the eye, it was all shocking. You can definitely see that. But we need to be putting a lot past this. Obviously, the big thing is Maxi seems to be a big doubt at the moment. We've not seen him train.
Well,
I think Craig Hope mentioned
I was just
it.
going to say, Alex, because some people have put that they've seen him training. Some people have said that they haven't seen Bruno training. Now, Bruno's definitely been training because he was earlier on in the week where we saw the carrier stuff when he signed. Bruno was on there with Isak. So yeah. Bruno hasn't been fit since Isak signed, so he has been training. Yeah, and I think Bruno plays me. I think he will.
I think I'm expecting this. I'm expecting Anderson because of how poor Fraser's been.
Yeah.
And if Maxi's a doubt, I want to see him on the left wing.
I
think it's time. Against Bournemouth, a newly promoted side. I think it's time that this guy gets a left wing start.
100%.
And hopefully we've got Bruno to play in this role, and then Longstaff can sit down for a match for a week. He's done okay. He's tried his best in the role. He got the assist against Liverpool.
Yeah.
But I think it's time to go back to Bruno, Joelinton, Willock. And I don't think there's any debate. I'd be surprised if the centre-backs are not these two, but we can do that in our predictions, I guess.
Indeed. Annie's putting me right here saying that Rafa was in charge in 2017. Indeed, he was. I was looking at something else. I do apologise. So well done, Annie. You've finally got something right. Richard says, I can't see Bournemouth scoring more than 1 against our current defence, 3-1 to us. Have you seen what Steve Bruce has done to West Brom? Look where they were. He took them over. Look where they are now. Well, it's nice to know that the Newcastle fans are now being recognised as being right about somebody. Mike says we must be due corner conversions. Oh God, we need to start scoring from set pieces. We really do. Paul says agree with Alex. 5-0 Newcastle with Isak 3 goals. Andy says Danielle, keep up the good work. Well, Princess, you look amazing. Up the Toon. Come on.
Thank you.
She's had her lips done as well.
No, I haven't. Don't start rumours.
Collagen.
You forget I'm playing on Saturday, so you run.
Oh Christ, I forgot about that. Don't hit me. I'm brittle. Janos says a Botman hat-trick, 6-0. Mark says Maxi, Bruno and Wilson all supposedly trained today. V could also see Botman getting something. Alex, they went 5 at the back very late on in the 90th minute.
Oh, okay. So presumably there'll just be a 4 at the back for the game then, unless he tries to change it.
Yeah. Paul says, if it's 6-0, I'm getting very drunk Saturday night once I'm home. Drop Willock and start Anderson. Why is this hatred about Willock? I don't understand that.
I don't get why people want
start, but not for Willock.
Why? He's a winger. Like all of his time at Bristol Rovers, he mostly played as a 10 on the wing.
Yeah.
I don't get why people want him in the midfield. I don't understand.
Yeah, absolutely. NUFC lad says Pope hat-trick 11-1. Jesus. Drop Fraser, start Anderson, says Jules. That's exactly what we've done.
Great.
Ryan says, hi guys, bit of a scary day I had today, but we move on and be stronger. At the gym right now, listening to the panel. Thanks for everything on this channel.
I hope you're all right, Ryan.
Ryan, let us know, mate. What's going on there? Just you don't have to put it on here, but just in the group chat,
comment, bro. Just WhatsApp it. God.
Yes, I know. I'm not telling to put it on here.
No, of course not.
Not at all. Mike says, truly Anderson deserves a chance. We go on about Southgate. This is a good time to use him. Absolutely, 100%. Big Billy says, got the West Ham game on and Paqueta looks good on the ball, but apart from that, he hasn't done a lot up to now. And he's saying blatant slander against him. Well, he's having a dig at me as usual. Don't worry. Retro Andy says 7-0 to Toon with Isaac, all of them. Fuck it, why not? He says. Fair enough. Hello from Cresswell, up the Toon. V says, natural beauty, Danielle.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Clarky says, your lips look lovely, Danielle.
No, you've started something now, haven't you? You know what? I'm going to make a rumour up.
No, you're bloody not.
I am.
Listen, Andy says, lips don't matter, Danielle is still war queen. There you go. So, right, you've got about... What did you say there?
Brown sugar.
Don't you stir it up. By the way, you've got about 5-6 minutes left if you want the tickets for the game against Bournemouth. All you have to do to be in with a chance of winning the tickets is you drop us a super chat or a super sticker of £5 or more. So if it's £5, you're in the draw once, £10 twice, etc. That's how we give away the tickets on the air. And Gaza G has just sent in a £17.99 super sticker, so you're in the draw as well. It is a junior and adult ticket sitting together. You cannot change the junior ticket to an adult one, though. I must stipulate that many times. You can't do that. So if you want to take your little ones, your nieces, nephews, or neighbor, or the cat, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Boxed by Exotics says, how much did them lips cost, Danielle? Oops. Les is going 5-0 the Toon with Isak 3, Bruno and Botman. Right. Okay. So we'll start off with our team lineup predictions. Billy, you can kick us off, matey.
Yeah, it's exactly the same team as I predicted for the previous game, which is Pope in goal, Trippier right back, Sharon Botman in the middle, Target at left back.
Yeah.
Bruno definitely fit this week. I think he'll certainly play. Willock and Jolinton, Almiron, Isak and Anderson on the left.
Spot on.
I am kind of worried about him picking Fraser, but it's got to be the time for Anderson.
Yeah.
Perfect opposition for him. And I think he'd probably go with them.
Well, I think, Danielle, judging by your nod, you're going with the same team.
Absolutely spot on.
I'm going with the same team as well. Alex?
Yeah, that's the team I've got in the the tactics board. It's got to be if Maxi's not fit, Anderson left wing. But other than that, it's the same.
Mark says, has Paul had a hair transplant? No.
Maybe by tomorrow you will have. Who knows?
No, I just have not shaved it for a while. As you can tell, I haven't. I'm grown. I'm trying to sort of. I'm sure Susan wants me to be Santa Claus for the kids at Christmas, so maybe I'll just grow this till Christmas for a laugh.
People keep mentioning Isak, by the way.
Yes.
This is one thing we've not mentioned as much. First time properly playing with possibly not Maxi, but he'll have a bit more quality with him on the pitch, hopefully, if Bruno's there. Yeah. And his first 2 games were very difficult games, playing against Liverpool. And then, although we did dominate Palace, they are a huge team. They are very well organised, very well structured, and they're very strong. So this is his first chance to have a little bit more quality with him and not quite as difficult in front of him. So I'm excited to see what Isak can do, definitely.
Indeed. Susan just texting, remember the TikTok, I'm helping, with laughing emojis. So I'm not sure what the hell's going on with that.
Oh, God.
Samsonite says, are we talking manscaping again? Absolutely not. Toon TV, thank you for your £2 super chat. I believe that's Jack.
There's Jack. I subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, Jack, by the way, I've sent you a message on Instagram, matey. I would love a reply. You're just blatantly ignoring me. I am not happy. I've sent you the message. I expect a reply in the next hour. Otherwise, me and you's going to fall out, son. Anyway. Right. Predictions. Billy, score and scorers. You've got about 2 minutes left for the competition, guys.
We have to win this game. As people have been saying, 1 win this season. I mean, okay, we've only lost 1, but we've only got 1 win. We need 3 points Saturday, and I don't see us failing to do that. I think we'll win convincingly. I think we'll come away with a 4-0 victory. I think Isak will score 2. I think Anderson may well get 1 also. And I'm going to say the other one will go to Willock because he's due a goal also.
Super. Andrew Johnson's going 3-1 Toon. Alex?
I'm going 5-0.
Wow.
Okay. 5-0. I'm only going to give Isak 2 goals because I think he'll get subbed off quite early. Because
I'm sorry, but if Isak's on 2 goals and then he takes him off, there'll be hell on.
Oh, yeah, I think he will. I think he'll score 2, and I think he'll get subbed off for Wood or somebody else after an hour 70 because he will try and save him. So 2 from Isak. And then I think players like Miggy and Willock and Bruno will mop up. I think it's a good
We're
game
not
for
playing for
Willock.
a while after today, though. After Saturday.
Yeah, so this means we can go full throttle, hell to leather, all the pressing, all the goals.
Trevor Lockie, thank you for your $8.99 super sticker, buddy. You are into the draw. Phoenix Pork Pie says 4-0 with Isak all 4. Annie's actually predicting us to win 2-1. Mason says 4-1. Barbara says 3-0 to the Toon. Isak 2 and Botman. Stephen says 3-1 the Toon. What do you guys think of the new signing from Australia? Well, we'll be doing a full show on him once he signs, but we'll only do that once he's confirmed. Kieran's going 2-0 with Isak and J7. Carl says 5-0. Speaking of replies, Paul. Oh, yes, I've got an email to reply to you, Francisco. I will get on that, my man.
By the way, the ultra press is something that Bournemouth really struggle with. The Man City, Liverpool teams of ultra press are with the same.
Yeah.
I think they're going to struggle with it.
We haven't seen Andrew's
usual prediction.
Andy's usual prediction. I think that'll come in shortly. Mansell Hansel's going 6-2 to the Toon. 4-0 says Ronald. Melon XP says 3-0 to the Cherries. Give our. I know you're
not with Nicholas Pope.
No, there's a few people predicting us to concede a couple of goals. I really don't see us conceding.
No.
I'd be disappointed if we concede one. Honestly, I really would.
Melanie XP is a Cherries fan, by the way, just to let you know.
I think that the Solanke, that there is that possibility that we've mentioned this before about them targeting the half space in between Trippier and Cher. Solanke could exploit that. A goal is possible, but any more than one, and we've had a mare. Like, we've really got to keep it under wraps.
Gary Binns, thank you for your £5 super chat. Hi, guys. Great show again. You're in the draw. Right, Danielle?
I'm going to go 3-0.
3-0. So we've got a 4-0, we've got a 3-0, we've got a 5-0.
Nowhere else to go, have I? Apart from 6-0. And come on, like, I'm not. I mean, if we win 6-0, I'll be beside myself. However, I think it's going to be 3-0. I think it's going to be Isak. I think it's going to be Bruno and Miggy.
Good. Stu says, don't finish. Do a few more hours. I'm almost finished work. Andrew says, lol, I was just about to type my prediction. I can only say whatever VAR allows us. Yes. Francisco says, you're the man. Thank you very much. No, you're the man. With the evening radio. Yeah. It's Francisco FM.
Craig Pawson as the referee.
Yes.
There is a point as well.
That
Bournemouth, I think Bournemouth got quite lucky with their game postponement because they were meant to play Brighton at home before Potter got sacked. Left. Sorry, not got sacked. So I think they would have had an absolute pasting off Brighton as well if that game hadn't have been postponed. So I think they were quite fortunate.
Fair enough. Tangy says 13-0 to stop Sky Sports talking about Premiership records and Man United and Liverpool winning 9-0. That'll be good. Mama Flossie says 3-0. Gary says 3-1 with Isak and Bruno. 3-0 says Julie J. 1 goal though disallowed by VAR. To be fair, we should be beating Bournemouth at home. Absolutely. Andrew says on a realistic note, I fancy 3-0 all week. Gary says 3-0 as well. Chris Murray out in the States. Good evening, buddy. 3-1 to the Toon. I'd be happy with that. My prediction. Sod it. I'm going 6.
Oh my God.
So we've got a 3, 4, 5, and a 6.
You've done Danielle.
Huh?
You've done Danielle. That's what I normally do. But
look, I think if we genuinely go out and play like we've been playing, right, and we take our chances, I think it could be a high-scoring game to us. I genuinely think that. If we get a couple of early goals, Bournemouth's confidence is just going to be shattered. It really will. And that could mean we could be 3-4-0 up at half-time. Because you think of the amount of chances we've had in games, even against Manchester City. You think of the chances we create if we put them away, and we have a good opportunity here to really score some goals and get the confidence right up. So there you go. Why not? Why not? It's been a long time since I've predicted a 6-0 win, I tell you, but why not? Sod it. Right. 1 minute warning for the tickets, guys. 1 minute warning to win the adult and junior ticket for this Saturday's game. You simply meet us outside the ground and we will give you the tickets. It is an adult and junior ticket, so you can pick the junior you want to go with, and you can't change it to an adult ticket, unfortunately, so I have to stipulate that again. It is an adult and junior ticket. So it's in the family enclosure. It is level 7. You get a wonderful view of the city, as well as the players. But yeah, if you want to be in that ground and be part of it, it's an amazing place to be for match day now, St James's. You can be there. To coin a phrase for 6-0, I agree. A well-rested, well-prepared Newcastle at home is a dangerous beast. Spacebar says we are due to give someone a hiding.
Stop it, because I'm going to change mine to 7-0 in a minute.
Absolutely. Alex, could we have a stats show on the ref since our takeover? Oh, dear God. Michael says 6 to Bournemouth, 10 to Newcastle. Jesus Christ, Michael. 16 goals.
I hope not. I'll be knackered.
I mean, for goal difference wise, we are on +1 goal difference with the season so far, and Bournemouth are on quite low, -13, but that's largely down to the 9-0 against Liverpool.
Yep. Andrew says, I forgot to add 3-0, but 4 disallowed. Yeah. V says, we say about a pacing every other week. It's got to happen eventually. This one could be it. How are the lads? Yano says they will crumble and struggle to cope with the atmosphere, which will rise as the goals pour in.
Yeah, the fans are important. We need to make sure everybody's buzzing. We need to keep supporting them.
Yep. Chris says 6 to us. Bloody hell, I don't think they have a one-legged dwarf in goal. And Troll says Annie has been struck by a smooth criminal. Right. It is time to do the draw. So here we go. This is the fun part where we go a bit mental. It's like bloody what was that show? Come on down and stuff like that. It's like come on down. Let me just find the where we are here. No, I don't need that bit. I need to go down here.
What was that program?
Price is Right.
Price is Right. That's it. Yes. Yes.
I didn't know. Okay.
Aston Villa, come on down.
Come on down. Well,
they might be going down with Gerrard.
Exactly.
Hey.
Right,
right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hang on.
Paqueta didn't have a good game. I've just checked his ratings. Not brilliant. He got hooked off Benrahma.
Fucking great. I'll probably get a drop for the weekend then.
Interesting game. Sociedad are doing pretty well.
Deadline's not going to matter.
Right, Danielle.
Yeah.
A number between 1 and 12.
I'm going to go number 9.
Number 9. Okay. Number 9. So
number 9 won me the bonus ball at work last week. It was 59 quid. I got £34 in silver. Seriously. Honestly.
I told you what to do with it.
Right, the winner of that is we have a winner, and it's Toon Dave, who has already stated that he can't go to the game. So
we have to redraw.
We have to do another one. So between 1 and 12, but not number 9.
Number 3.
Number 3. 1, 2, 3. Gaza G. Gaza G, you have won. Now, can you put in the comments if you're here and you can go to the game?
He just commented a minute
confirmation.
ago.
Yeah, he did.
A minute ago, so he should still be here.
Gaza G, can you go to the game with an adult and a junior ticket? Let me know in the comments as soon as you can.
Spacebar type fixed before it was even drawn.
Gaza G's laughing. Can you go to the game? Never mind laughing. I've got a season ticket, bud. Right, so he's not going. He's already gone. Right, so Danielle, 1 and 12 again, but no 3 and no number 9.
Number 5.
Number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sean Lovick. Sean Lovick, you have won the tickets. Can you put in the comments if you can go, and if you can have both the tickets, obviously, you need to take a junior with you. Sean Lovick. We need to get a drum roll for this shit, or some kind of countdown from Francisco. You know, get his voice in. You have 30 seconds.
Oh, we could. Yeah, he could record us a countdown.
You've got 29 seconds.
Come on, Sean, you can do it.
Come on, Sean, are you still here?
Well, I thought you were going to call Sean Longstaff when you announced it. I was very confused for a minute.
Yes,
says Sean. So, right. Can you? So, Sean's definitely going. That's both tickets, Sean. So, you can you tell us in the comments who you'll be taking? At least I know he's there. So, let us know in the comments who you're taking, Sean.
It's got to be a junior, or failing that, a very young-looking dwarf.
Billy! He says, meet you at the ground. Yes, Sean, but who are you taking? Let us know. He's taking his grandson. Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Right, Sean. We will be to the side of the club shop next to the Jackie Milburn stand. We'll be there from very early on. If you could make sure you get there before 2:30, mate, because where you're sitting, you'll probably have to go and queue up to get up until level 7. So we will see you at the ground, Sean, on Saturday around, well, we'll say 2 o'clock, 2:15 if you want, and then that's it. I'll have the tickets with me, and then you can meet Danielle with our new lips. You can meet myself. Michael Marston will be there.
You just wait.
Okay.
I see.
Actually, Danielle, the absolute flack I've taken on this channel, including from yourself, I've got to get my own back sometime.
I've just had a message, Paul. Hi, Danielle. What's this about your lips being done?
Who said that?
Well, we'll talk about it after the show.
It's not your plastic surgeon, is it?
Sorry?
Not your plastic surgeon, is it?
Alex.
Hey, listen, it's all good banter. Everybody knows it is. And I take most of it, by the way.
I have a funny point that's normally for TTR Fridays. But I've just been sent the highlights of the Olympiacos Freiburg game. And Olympiacos fans, you're an absolute disgrace with all your fireworks over the pitch. You should be banned from the competition. Absolutely disgraceful.
Well, didn't that happen
so
a couple
dangerous.
of nights ago? Was it Frankfurt fans involved in something like that, shooting fireworks at somebody?
Potentially.
I'm sure
but this
something like that happened.
If anybody sees the video online, oh my God, it is a full firework display, and they're just releasing them from the crowd over the pitch. It is because they're losing 3-0 as well. They're getting smashed. So disgraceful.
Serves them right.
Forest Owners Club, isn't it?
Is it really?
They've just signed James Rodriguez and Marcelo as well. They're both ex-Real Madrid stars.
Yeah. A lot of support coming in for you now, Danielle. Paul, you might get either swollen lips after Danielle gets to you. Janos can see Danielle giving Paul a fat lip. Oh, dear. What, Billy?
Could be Goodbye Ruby Tuesday.
Give away. Right, that is it for tonight, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the super chatters, the new members, and of course everybody else for joining in and watching and putting your comments down in the chat. We love the interaction with you all, so thank you very much for that. Thank you to you guys, you three on screen with me, as usual. Now, show's coming up. We will, of course, have TTR Friday tomorrow, which will certainly be a good laugh and get us into the weekend with a good giggle. I'm sure Danielle will have some sort of rant.
Yeah, I will, about certain people spreading rumours. I'll have a good rant.
All right.
Don't you worry about that.
You give it lip service, my darling.
Whatever, Billy.
Jesus. Alex will be shaming somebody. Of course, Billy will have beef with somebody. And we will be playing our brand new game show with your host, Billy Bob Coleman, which is, of course, Saint or No Saint.
Yeah.
It might not be. It might not be. I might have a kind of topical version.
Oh. Well, I've been advertising Saint or No Saint, Billy.
What you've been doing, you've been revising Saints, haven't you? That's what you've been doing.
I am a good Catholic boy, Danielle. I'll have you know. I know my saints. Not like these stupid Pope friggin' Urbans and stuff like that.
Oh, get over it.
I cannot. But listen, and thank you to the mod squad as well for a fantastic job again tonight. We will see you at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And then, of course, Billy will be bringing you live commentary of Newcastle against Bournemouth from 2:30 with the build-up and team news, and then 3 o'clock live commentary of the game itself. So join him for that and show your support as usual. Well, thanks very much, guys. We'll see you back again at 8 o'clock tomorrow night for a good laugh on TTR Friday. Good night.
No.
How are the lads and lasses?